18 years ago, humanity's world flipped completely upside down. A massive, ominous tower and mysterious gates suddenly pierced the sky. They unleashed waves of terrifying monsters upon the world. In response to this existential threat, a select group of humans awakened incredible superhuman powers. They became known as players. As these brave protectors fought back and cleared the gates, they transformed into symbols of immense wealth and global adoration. This sparked a massive player economy that everyone envied. But while these elite heroes reaped all the glory, others were left completely behind in the dust. Enter Gi-Gyu. He is an unawakened delivery man who is barely scraping by just to survive. While elite unique ability players receive public adulation on giant skyscraper billboards, Gi-Gyu is drowning. He is trapped in a sea of never-ending debt, mounting hospital bills for his sick mother, and overdue tuition. Coming home after another grueling, exhausting shift, he expects nothing but more bad news in his mailbox. Instead, his precious younger sister Gi-Gyu surprises him. She brings him a chocolate cake to celebrate his birthday, despite her wearing completely worn-out clothes. Touched by her absolute selflessness, he happily pats her head and gets ready to read her birthday card. But as he slides the card out of the envelope, his eyes widen in complete shock. Tucked inside is a legendary, life-altering player invitation. Realizing he has officially awakened as a player, Gi-Gyu is overcome with emotion. His sister Gi-Gyu admits she snatched the letter from the mailbox to surprise him. This leads to a tearful hug and a promise that their painful struggle is finally over. The next day, Gi-Gyu stands nervously before the towering headquarters of the Korean Players Association. Taking a deep breath, he steps inside and activates his status window for the very first time, only to be met with a massive surprise. His screen displays a level 1 status, but his unique ability is listed as a mystery, marked only by question marks. The receptionist immediately gasps. This indicates he possesses an unrevealed unique ability, putting him in a rare class of elite players. Before the shock can even settle, South Korea's newest superstar hero, Gi-Gyu, suddenly appears and offers to personally guide the rookie. Starstruck but eager, Gi-Gyu agrees, and the duo passes through the glowing portal into the tower's first floor. But the moment they step through, they are greeted by a terrifying anomaly, an endless, surging army of goblins due to a massive spawn error. While Gi-Gyu panics at the sight of the overwhelming horde, Gi-Gyu remains completely unfazed, confidently stepping forward to tackle the legendary 100 goblin potential test. To Gi-Gyu's absolute disbelief, Gi-Gyu reveals that while a high ranker might take a full hour to clear the test, a unique ability player can obliterate it in just 10 minutes. Demonstrating his terrifying power, Gi-Gyu freezes a goblin solid, completing his run in a mind-blowing 47 seconds. He explains that unique ability players possess an almost inconceivable growth speed, which is exactly why he wants to recruit talent like Gi-Gyu to build a guild that will surpass the legendary Angela Guild. Leaving Gi-Gyu with words of encouragement, Gi-Gyu guides him through his very first goblin hunt. Gripping his sword, Gi-Gyu tracks the monster's movements, determined to finally change his life forever. But reality is often cruel. 5 years flash by, and we find ourselves back in the forest, where to experienced players stop to watch a dark-hooded man struggling in combat. At first glance, they assume he is performing the popular 100 Goblin speedrun challenge. However, they quickly realize the pathetic truth. The exhausted man is Gi-Gyu, and he is crying out in absolute despair. 5 years ago, he received his invitation and was blessed with a rare, highly coveted unique ability. Yet, half a decade later, it still takes him a grueling, exhausting hour just to defeat a single, low-level goblin. After wrapping up another training session, the rookie players Gi-Gyu guided celebrate their fast progress, eagerly preparing to tackle the second floor tomorrow. But as Gi-Gyu walks away, the rookies whisper about his infamous reputation. Among the community, he has earned a tragic nickname, the player who can't level up, known as the absolute lowest-ranking player in existence. To make matters worse, Gi-Gyu's daily life is a grueling loop. After finishing his day job as a guide, he retreats to a secret, remote spot on the first floor, where a single goblin spawns once a day. Hoping for an easy, stealthy kill, he slips through the shadows, but the monster spots him, triggering a brutal, high-stakes clash of steel. Though he eventually wins, the victory is hollow. The battle takes an entire hour, and after selling the monster's crystal and buying healing potions to patch himself up, he is left with virtually zero profit. Depressed and exhausted, Gi-Gyu returns to the guide department of the association, only to run into his colleague Teo, who awkwardly apologizes out of nowhere. Confused, Gi-Gyu enters the office of the department director, Taisik, to find out what is going on. He is met with a devastating blow. Taisik reveals that starting tomorrow, Tio will be taking over all of Gi-Gyu's clients. Gi-Gyu is left, utterly speechless, unable to comprehend why he is being stripped of his livelihood when today's training went perfectly. Director Taisik delivers a crushing blow. Gi-Gyu's clients have caught wind of the rumors surrounding his inability to level up and specifically requested a new guide. Clenching his fists, Gi-Gyu swallows his pride. After all, the rumors are entirely true. To escape the depressing reality of his low status, Gi-Gyu turns his attention to the television, where South Korea's legendary Angela Guild has just announced their historic attempt to conquer the unreached 75th floor. Yet, watching these world-class players only deepens Gi-Gyu's sense of inadequacy. Even though he holds an official player license, these monumental achievements feel like years out of his reach. Sensing his deep despair, Taisik hands over his daily pay but offers a silver lining. Though losing his current roster, a new client specifically requested Gi-Gyu for an upcoming tutorial run. The next morning, Gi-Gyu meets his new employer, Kim Sunpil, only to receive a heartwarming surprise. Sunpil is the cousin of Yusaku, the superstar hero who mentored Gi-Gyu years ago and highly recommended him. Grateful for his old friend's kindness, Gi-Gyu quickly connects with Sunpil's party, initiating their 5-day tutorial expedition. As night falls, Gi-Gyu cooks a delicious meal for the rookies over the camp stove. When a rookie bluntly asks if his level 1 status is true, Gi-Gyu handles the awkward question with total grace, transitioning into a vital lesson about the tower. He warns them about the rare but catastrophic guardians, legendary floor boss monsters so incredibly deadly that even top-ranking players avoid hunting them alone. Though Gi-Gyu reassures his team that encountering one on the lower levels is virtually impossible, the scene abruptly cuts to the 4th floor, where a massive, terrifying entity is actively hunting down its prey. Sitting around the campfire on their first night, Sunpil's party excitedly discusses the upcoming 5th floor test, dreaming of the day they will finally unlock their unique player classes. Gi-Gyu quietly watches them laugh, tossing another log onto the fire. Looking up at the crescent moon, his thoughts drift to the upcoming 5th floor. In reality, this tutorial run has gone incredibly smoothly so far, a fact documented in Sunpil's daily journal. Throughout the 2nd and 3rd floors, Gi-Gyu's veteran instincts kept the rookie party completely safe, from identifying hidden paths to using a single pebble to trick groups of goblins and orcs into fighting each other. Gi-Gyu's tactics proved to be a masterful work of art, but the tower is an unpredictable beast, and peace never lasts. On the 4th floor, the team continues their training, coordinating their attacks and taking down monsters with near-flawless synergy. Gi-Gyu is impressed, silently noting that they are almost ready to conquer the 5th floor. Suddenly, the ground begins to violently tremble. A massive wall of dust sweeps over the battlefield, carrying an ominous, heavy aura. Though it is not the scheduled day for a floor boss to spawn, Gi-Gyu's instincts scream danger. He instantly orders the party to abort the mission and retreat. In that terrifying moment of hesitation, the brutal reality of the tower hits home. The tower is not a game. A single, minor mistake can lead to the total annihilation of an entire team. Before they can escape, a sudden strike wounds one of the rookies, leaving him bloody and collapsed. Gritting his teeth, Gi-Gyu hurls a smoke bomb to screen the group, shouting for them to grab their injured comrade and run. As the thick haze blankets the forest, Gi-Gyu turns back only to face his worst nightmare. Emerging from the shifting shadows is a hulking, red-eyed terror radiating pure malice. The absolute worst-case scenario has come to life. A colossal, unauthorized guardian has manifested, trapping the level 1 guide and his terrified party. Seeking refuge in a nearby cliffside cave, Gi-Gyu's party manages to temporarily evade the rampaging 4th floor guardian. However, their relief is short-lived. Hanyul has been severely poisoned by goblin venom, and to his horror, Gi-Gyu realizes he left her antidote behind in the chaos. Desperate to save her and find a way out, Gi-Gyu decides to brave the monster-infested wilderness alone to fire a rescue flare. Reassuring his terrified party that his years of level 1 experience make him the ultimate tutorial expert, he slips out into the woods. But luck is not on his side. Almost instantly, the massive, red-eyed guardian corners him, slamming him into the dirt with a bone-shattering blow. Coughing up blood, Gi-Gyu narrowly uses a smoke screen to escape, firing the distress flare high into the sky before sprinting for his life. With the colossal beast hot on his heels, he runs blindly through the forest until he hits a dead end, finding himself face-to-face with the legendary, Forbidden's Gate of the 5th floor test. Stepping inside normally means instant death for a level 1 player, a truth that once kept him from risking his life for the sake of his family. But with certain death charging right at his back, Gi-Gyu refuses to die like a coward. Gritting his teeth, he pushes the massive stone doors open and hurls himself into the blinding light. Stepping through the gate, Gi-Gyu is transported into the first test zone, where the system instantly scans his information. To his surprise, an unidentified ability is discovered, prompting the tower to dramatically lower the test's difficulty. When Gi-Gyu wakes up, he expects a brutal trial, only to find a single, harmless ghost standing before him. Befuddled, he easily slays the creature, achieving a perfect clear that promises to enhance his reward. But before he can celebrate, a dense, swirling vortex of black smoke wraps around him, pulling him into a dark void. There, a cocky, disembodied voice of a young boy speaks in his head, demanding that Gi-Gyu choose a name for him and accept his link request. It is an ego-living, sentient weapon. 2 weeks later, Gi-Gyu wakes up in Gwanak Hospital. Taisik explains that a rescue team responded to his flare and drove off the rampaging guardian, ensuring Sunpul's party escaped safely. Though Gi-Gyu is relieved his friends are sound, he is devastated to realize that despite surviving the gate, he is still level 1. However, things are different now. Discharged from the hospital, Gi-Gyu returns to the tower